Hey, what's up everybody? It is Julius DeBerry once again from Majestic Studios, and today I have a quick video of some things that I want to address with the Korg Nautilus. Still, one of the things I'm seeing the most frequently, not necessarily complaints, but wish list or things that people wish was different, is the control surface of the Nautilus. And of course, Korg spoiled us with the amount of surface mount controls that we had on the Korg Kronos, with the many switches that we had, the knobs we had, and of course, one of everybody's favorites, the sliders. And we have already come out with a video showing you guys how to utilize the Korg Nano Control to set up to control your faders and maybe some other parameters that you have that you would like to have custom controlled on your machine, to give you that that ability to control faders. To control layers within your combis. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it at the top, one of these corners right here, so you guys can check that out when you get a chance. But today I wanted to kind of dive just a little deeper. It's not going to be a very long video, but I just want to show you guys something within the interface that allows you a little bit more control, some things that you may not be completely aware of, you may have seen before, but not know exactly what it's for. There's a couple of menu options within the Nautilus that give you guys a little bit more control over your sounds during like a live performance or even a programming session. I know we do miss some of the faders and knobs and things that were on the Kronos, but they did take them away from us in a hardware form, but we still have the ability and the access via software. And it's within the touch screen of the Nautilus. So within this video, I plan to show you guys a couple of tricks, or not necessarily tricks, but maybe some interface tips that you guys have not noticed or seen before, or realized that you had access to. And we're going to jump right into that right here. Okay, so the first thing I would like to show you guys is right here on your main screen. This is just like if we come straight from the mode select and we go to program, right here across the bottom of the screen, there are these tabs that you can use to quickly jump around places on the keyboard. And we're going to use this very last one right here called tone adjust. So you push tone adjust, and what this is there was like a control surface tab on the Kronos that had all kind of parameters that you could access. There was tabs on the left side of the screen, and they told you kind of which area of the keyboard that the rest of the control surface was controlling at that time, and it was laid out just like the control surface on the Kronos. So across the top you had the knobs, and it told you what those knobs were controlling at any given moment. And then beneath the knobs there were other buttons, there were other switches, all the way down to the faders, and you could use that surface. You could see on the screen what each parameter was that was being controlled by the knob, the slider, the switch in the control surface area of the Kronos. Well, here on the Nautilus, it's still here, it's just in a different form. So when we push this tone adjust button, the first thing that pops up is 1 through 16 switches. And what that is, it's giving you 16 switches that you can quickly access various parameters to control little nuances or programming things that you want to set for your specific sounds. So we'll look at this. This is just this is the first piano sound, the Nautilus Grand Dry. And if you see right here, it says like the stereo perspective. So you can set this switch to on or off, and that controls the stereo perspective of the sound. And I'm not going to go over each individual sound or each individual parameter, but I'm just showing you guys that you have access to this here. So in this screen with these 16 switches, where it says on or off, there's a number 1 through 8 on the top row and a number 9 through 16 on the bottom row, and the switches all say on or off. If they are grayed out, then that means there's no parameter assigned to that switch at the moment. So what you want to do is, if you want to be able to edit this screen, you can turn the parameters on or off right here, just using the buttons. But if you want to be able to edit the parameters that are within this mode, you just push edit, and it changes the screen a little bit. And now you can double click in this black area, and you have a bunch of parameters that you can choose from right here within the switches. So if there's something that you want to be able to quickly change if it's something that a parameter that you use often when you're programming, or if it's something that you use often in a live setting, you can assign those various parameters to one of these areas, and then you cut it on or off. So like right here, this, I just put the filter envelope generator intensity. So what that is right now it's off. But if I want to be able to, at the push of a button, I can change that parameter to whatever number I see fit. Let's just say I want to add 50. Then when I push this button, it adds plus 50 to whatever that parameter is. So if it's something that you quickly need to access to be able to change, you can set that here. And those numbers, you can go -50, push enter. And now when you push on, it, whatever the standard or whatever the set parameter is for that filter EG intensity, whatever that set number is, it will take -50 away if you have -50, or if you have +50, or whatever the number is that you have set there, it will quickly make that adjustment for you. And you, like I said, you have 16 different parameters that you can change at the push of a button. So we'll just go to number 4 and we'll look at something else. All of these parameters that are here, there are tons of them. Literally, some of them are grayed out, and that's for specific reasons depending on the engine that you're using at that given moment. It will be grayed out, so you can't access it. So any of the ones that have numbers like filter cutoff, that one is also going to have a plus or minus. And when you initiate the parameter by pushing the on, whatever you have your plus or minus to beneath it, it adds or subtracts that number to the parameter to make that change instantaneously for you. So that's the switches, and there's 16 of them, like I said. So we'll push the edit button again to turn that off. Now it's not in edit mode anymore. Now it's just in the mode where you can turn it on or off. And again, if you want to edit that, you just push this edit button, and now you can change whatever those parameters are there. All right, so now we'll go over to the sliders, and it's the same thing. You have, like with our, I guess you would set it up like there were faders, but these are parameters that you would be like, you'd want to adjust in real time. You may not want to add a specific number to them using a switch, but you can slide between parameters using this slider mechanism on the screen. So again, we will go to edit, and there are 17 of these, 1 through 8 in the first bank, and then the second bank is 9 through 17. So we'll just go to edit. And then when you're in edit, that edit button lights up yellow to let you know that it's in edit mode, as opposed to not edit or non-edit mode. And just like we were doing with the switches, we can double click on one of the parameters, and all of these parameters come up, and you can add whatever parameter that is listed here to that slider. Lid position, this is for the piano. And then you just, if you're in a live setting or in a programming session, you just move that slider up and down, and it automatically changes. And so you have access to 16 switches, that's 16 parameters at any given moment right here on your screen. They gave us a significant drop in price between the Kronos to the Nautilus. The same build quality, the same sounds. You're able to convert some of your Kronos sounds over into the Nautilus, and they gave us a great price on it. But of course, they had to take away some things, and one of the things that they took away was the control surface. It had to be adjusted, but now instead of hardware, it's in your screen. So you still have access to it. It's just a little different. It may take a little getting used to, but you still have it. So again, switches 1 through 16, sliders 1 through 8, and then sliders 9 through 17. And you can add whatever parameters are available at any given moment, depending on the engine that you're editing or programming at that moment. You can put the parameter in there, and then you have the ability to change it just like you had a slider right in front of you using the screen. Okay, so that's the first section. All right. Okay, so this second section of parameters, or quick access parameters that we can get to, you'll get to by pushing the page button from whatever mode you're in. And if you go to right here, it says basic XY controllers. And this screen we talked about in one of the very, very early videos, as far as how to get your switch buttons to manipulate certain things, and then also your SW1 and 2 buttons over here and on top of the jog wheel, how to get them to manipulate certain things within sounds. And then also we addressed this page when we talked about the nano controller and getting it to work properly to change the volume within your layers, to change the volume within your layers. Okay, so right here where it says target, this target is saying there's two choices, but you can have mixer or you can have real-time control. So what we're gonna do is if it's on mixer, when it's set on mixer, then it grays out this second set of parameters, this second row. And let me jump back. When this screen is utilized when you have your setting, your over here on the left side in your control surface, you have the sound, ARP and drums, and then the user. So if you want to utilize your parameters and how you have things set in this screen, it has to be set on user. Okay, so remember that. But when it's on mixer, the options that it gives you are mixer options, like things that you would find on a mixer, like volume. You have EQ trim, EQ low gain, mid frequency, the sweep, mid gain, high gain, the sends, pan, volume, and then of course expression. But I don't know if you'll see that on a mixer, but that is one of the parameters that they put there. But if you change this to RT control, then now the mixer control settings disappear. And now you have access to real-time control of certain parameters that people would find that you would frequently use as far as programming a sound. And that's one of the things that kind of made me go ahead and do this video today. I saw a question on one of the Nautilus groups on Facebook today that a guy was saying that he wished Korg allowed him more control over what this row of knobs and switches does. He would like to be able to make it custom throughout. Now, because he doesn't need the ARP and drums, and so I guess that row of parameters is useless to him because he doesn't utilize that. So he'd like to be able to change it to something that he could use. But they do give us this one row of user control. So we do have one row of that, just not two or three. So once you go to user, you can change what your parameter is right here. So if he wanted to be able to always control ADSR, which is attack, decay, sustain, and release, he could just go right here and put it on attack. Now his real-time knob is controlling the attack of his sound. Okay. Then if he does it for the second one, he can change it to another one, and another parameter, and now it says decay, real-time control. Now it's at sustain, and he can change that to any parameter that's within here, or it can be a MIDI control, a CC control, and that kind of opens up the whole Pandora's box as far as what you can have set for those parameters once you start putting CC controls, because then it's whatever you have, whatever that CC is assigned to on whatever instrument it is, or within the keyboard, whatever parameter you have assigned to respond to that CC number. So just for the sake of what he was asking, we're going to put ours on attack, decay, sustain, and release. So now we're going to go to sustain, and then the last one, we're going to go to RT control, and we're going to put it on release. It's already there. So now you have quick control of attack, decay, sustain, and release. And so if those are parameters that you use all the time, if you want a permanent setting, then you could just make an initialized program, whether it be a HD one or one of the others, specialized engines within the Nautilus, and you just save it. You put this, use it as a template. You set this up like this, and then use it as a template, and then now you just build on top of it. And when you're programming, now you just save it to a new spot with a new name, and it doesn't mess up your template. So now you don't have to go back, and every single sound you want to work on or program, you got to go back in here and change this, change these settings or change these parameters to things that you use all the time. And then you still have two more. He mentioned being able to use EQ too, so you can leave those on mixer if you want, and you can put it on whatever mixer parameters that you would utilize most often for those last two sets. And then you also have the nano control that you can assign some of this stuff to as well. It gets a little more complicated then, because you only have 6 of the users, and the user control within the mixer was kind of how we utilized to set up for the layer control to control the layers within your combi. So you kind of got to pick and choose your poison, or how you're going to set things up. But it can be, you know, as complex or simple as you like. But I just wanted to show you guys that, and this is a quick little run through, but if you guys have any questions specifically, you know, you can put them down in the comments. You know, I always respond to my comments within a few days. and to make sure you guys are understanding, you know, what I'm saying and the content that's being provided. So I hope that shows you guys another avenue as far as programming and how to set up your sounds, or setting up the sounds within your Nautilus and how you want to control them as far as parameter control or quick access to certain parameters. Like I always say, if you guys are enjoying the content, please like, share, subscribe. A lot of my viewers, I'm seeing from my analytics, a lot of my viewers are not subscribers. So guys, if you're watching the videos and if you're clicking on it and you're getting information from it, just hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel quite a bit. And if once you subscribe, if you hit that notification bell, you get notifications every time I upload a video, so you'll be one of the first people to know. And just, you know, share the content, watch the content. We're out here putting it out here for you guys, and we're hoping that you are enjoying it. So like I said, ask any questions you have in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I will catch you guys on the next video later.